Can you believe what the media is doing to us, along with the Democrats? That's right, they are gaslighting us like crazy. In today's episode, I'm going to show you video after video where we expose the nonsense that's going on in politics coming from the Democrats. I just came back from D.C. It was a great trip. We got to go on the House floor. We got to stand on the balcony of the Speaker of the House, which is right above where the President of the United States speaks when he is inaugurated. He's below the balcony, and you get a look out over the mall and to think about all the history there. It's exciting. And then I come back, and it was announced that Joe Biden, he announced via Twitter and a digital signature that he was not going to run for office anymore, and that, a few minutes later, Kamala Harris was the endorsed person. Of course, no one's voted on her. This is democracy amok. We'll see how the convention goes. I can't see a situation where she's not the nominee, but we'll see what the delegates do. Anyway, we come back, and then it is full-on gaslighting. They just make it seem like, hey, nothing happened.
Oh, the great Oz has spoken. Oh, pay no attention to that man behind the curtain.
She didn't say any of this. It's total nonsense, and we're going to expose it today here on Chronicles of Clarity. I want to read a quote first. Two quotes, to be exact. It's from George Orwell's famous 1984 book. And that book is written on a big brother totalitarian state and a party-led socialistic regime that takes control over all the people. Here's the two quotes. The first one, quote, "Who controls the past controls the future. Who controls the present controls the past," end quote. And then the second one, "Every record has been destroyed or falsified, every book rewritten, every picture has been repainted, every statue and street building has been renamed, every date has been altered, and the process is continuing day by day and minute by minute. History has stopped. Nothing exists except an endless present in which the party is always right." That, my friends, was written many, many years ago, and it is true for us today and what the media and the Democrats are doing. So let's jump right in. Check this out.
You're very different in the policies that you've supported in the past. You're considered the most liberal United States senator.
Somebody said that, and it actually was Mike Pence on the debate stage. But
yeah, well, actually, the nonpartisan GovTrack has rated you as the most liberal senator. You supported the Green New Deal. You supported Medicare for all.
Okay, so GovTrack in 2019 ranked her the most liberal senator. Well, what does GovTrack go and do? Well, check out this post from Elon Musk. GovTrack removes Kamala Harris's liberal ranking. So there they go. They're starting to whitewash all that's what's gone on. So what's next? Well, the next one, of course, is that she wasn't appointed to be the one over the border. Now, it's famously called the border czar.
We'll czar him. That'll give him something to do.
If you look up czar in the dictionary, I can't believe we have to do this, but if you look it up at cambridge.org and you look up czar, the definitions are a male Russian ruler. And then another definition is a person who has been given special powers by the government to deal with a particular matter. That's all that is. And she was called the border czar. Well, of course, they are saying that that's not the case.
You're teasing me. Naughty, naughty.
She wasn't ever the border czar, which is kind of bizarre when you think about it, because indeed she was. So we're going to look at a video right now where we play this for you. All these news clips that the media now denies.
quote unquote border czar. Vice President Harris was not a border czar.
Meantime, Vice President and border czar Kamala Harris facing some backlash.
What he said about Harris and immigration was not true. She was never appointed border czar.
And this will be her first visit to the U.S.-Mexico border region since she was appointed as the border czar by President Biden.
People are going to have to counter the misinformation. You already hear folks talking about the border czar. She wasn't the border czar.
President Biden tapped Kamala Harris, Vice President Kamala Harris, to be the border czar.
Now, she wasn't the border czar. That's what Republicans labeled her.
They were very critical of Kamala Harris, especially in her role as border czar.
Now what she's up against is folks lying about her border record, calling her a border czar.
Kamala Harris, who was appointed as the border czar.
The Biden team didn't declare her the border czar. They wanted her to work on kind of the root causes of immigration.
There has been so much criticism against Kamala Harris. You know, she was the border czar.
Calling her sort of the border czar, which wasn't necessarily the case.
So the border, if they weren't planning to address it in a major way, do not make her your border czar. She met with some of the Northern Triangle countries, but nothing has effectively changed.
Okay, so the fact that they are doing this is insane. Check out this video.
She was never assigned the position of border czar. They're making that up.
So, of course, why they want you to deny that she was in charge of the border is because illegal immigration is out of control. It is insane, which means clearly she failed. But here's President Biden. Watch what he says.
I've asked her, the VP today, because she's the most qualified person to do it, to lead our efforts with Mexico and the Northern Triangle and the countries that help us. We're going to need help in stemming the movement of so many folks stemming the migration to our southern border.
So that's what they want you to believe.
Emotional, damn it!
Is that she wasn't in charge of the border, but oh, by the way, we have the receipts to show that indeed she was. Hey, real quick, Michael here. Thanks for watching. It means so much. I know your time's valuable, and we'd love to have this communal aspect grow so other people can learn to clarify. And so we just ask that you like, you share, and you subscribe. It helps the channel out more than you know. Thank you so much for your support. Now, back to your video. And if that wasn't enough, check out this tweet from Kamala. POTUS asked me to lead our diplomatic work with Mexico, El Salvador, Guatemala, and Honduras to address the situation at the southern border. We have to address the root causes of migration. It won't be easy work, but it's necessary. March 24th of 2021. So there. It's totally insane. It's totally absurd that they're trying to gaslight the American people.
I got you, homie.
Kamala Harris was clearly in charge of the border. Full stop. Next issue, you have Donald Trump, who claimed that Harris was donating to the Minneapolis Freedom Fund, which was bailing out criminals. If you see this post from Twitter, this is from CBS News. But, oh, by the way, here's Kamala Harris back in 2020. This is what she says. If you're able to, chip in now to the Minnesota Freedom Fund to help post bail for those protesting on the ground in Minnesota. Gaslight number 2 that they're trying to gaslight you on is that she's not all about defunding the police, which I'll show you a video on that in just a moment, and that she's all for anarchy and crazy, crazy policies. Okay, here's now Kamala Harris on defunding the police.
Look, part of this movement, and it's not just a moment, it's a movement, standing on the shoulders of the movements before. Part of this has to be about changing the system, rehauling the system, upending the system. And so that piece of it, you're right. Under this Attorney General, I have no hope for it being implemented. But God willing, he will be out of that office shortly. And then we need to have a requirement that that office do the right thing going forward.
So then if you're for overhauling, where do you stand on defund the police?
Look, right. So here's the thing. Defund the police The issue behind it is that we need to reimagine how we are creating safety. And when you have many cities that have 1/3 of their entire city budget focused on policing, we know that is not the smart way and the best way or the right way to achieve safety. For too long, the status quo thinking has been you get more safety by putting more cops on the street. Well, that's wrong. Because, by the way, if you want to look at upper middle class suburban neighborhoods, they don't have that patrol car. They don't have those police walking those streets. But what they do have, they have well-funded schools. What they do have is home ownership, high home ownership rates. What they do have are thriving small businesses. What they do have is access to public health and mental health services. So this whole movement is about rightly saying, we need to take a look at these budgets and figure out whether it reflects the right priorities.
You know what they also have? Typically, fathers. And in the black community, there's a cultural problem, which Charlie Kirk has highlighted numerous times, and that is over 70% of the homes in the inner city are fatherless. She quotes all these social programs because the Democrats think that the nuclear family is not needed, that a father isn't needed, a mother isn't needed, and you can obtain whatever you want with any way you want to reconfigure the family. And of course, that's crazy. Also in Seattle, check out this article from 2022. 50% was a mistake. Seattle City Council abandoned the idea of defunding the police. So there, Seattle, I don't know if you remember, they let these people take 6 city blocks control of with a police station right there next to them. So much crime happened. In fact, here's an article here. There was a car tender. It was a business down there on 12th Avenue. And the guy's last name was McDermott. And he left, and they sued the city. So far, the city has agreed to pay over $12 million, not just to him, but to others, because he says it just wasn't a safe place to do business. And he had been there for years, and he said that he felt abandoned by the city, and he called 911, and no one would respond. Not the fire department, he says here, not the police department. And he said he called for help at least a couple dozen times and was left to fend for himself. So again, they're trying to gaslight you and say, hey, this isn't what you need. You don't need police. You need more social welfare systems.
Stop it. Get some help.
No, you need fathers in the homes to give guidance to kids instead of gangs. And you need law and order to be established in a society if you want that society to be on its way to health. This took the cake. It was the Obamas, and this goes back to the 1984 George Orwell, where they take control of the people and they set up all these things that are fake, right? Here's Kamala Harris accepting a phone call of congratulations from the Obamas. Totally not staged, totally legit. Even though, of course, she, quote unquote, has it on speakerphone, but has it up to her ear, which I'm sure all of you do that. Watch this.
Kamala.
Hello. Hi.
Hey there.
Oh, hi, you're both together. Oh, it's good to hear you both.
I can't have this phone call without saying to my girl Kamala, I am proud of you. This is going to be historic.
We called to say Michelle and I couldn't be prouder to endorse you and to do everything we can to get you through this election and into the Oval Office.
Oh, my goodness. Michelle, Brock, this means so much to me. I am looking forward to doing this with the two of you, Doug and I both. and getting out there, being on the road. But most of all, I just want to tell you the words you have spoken and the friendship that you have given over all these years mean more than I can express. So thank you both. It means so much. And we're going to have some fun with this too, aren't we?
Total stage. They think the media and the people of America are idiots. And depending on how this plays out, they might be right. They continue to gaslight us. They continue to say what was is rewritten, to say it wasn't. And now, at the time of this taping, they want you to think that J.D. Vance is weird. But this is coming from the party who says boys can be girls, girls can be boys, or you don't have to be either. That you don't need law and order. You can defund the police. That she wasn't the border czar. She wasn't in charge of the border. Oh my, what are you talking about? That never happened. And yet we have the videos and the proof, but they keep rewriting it. They're in cahoots with the websites and the media to rip out and replace like GovTrack, getting rid of the ranking of her being the most liberal senator that there ever was. But they say that J.D. Vance is weird. Check out this post from Greg Price. It's just a simple image of a normal family, J.D. with his wife and kids. And then on the right, a picture of Kamala with a drag queen. But basically, you get the point. They're wanting to say that J.D. Vance and the family is weird and strange. And oh, this is totally normal. And so that's what I have for today. Don't be a sheep. Be someone that leads the sheep. Let me know your thoughts below. I don't know how you defend this gaslighting that's going on, but get involved in your local government, your federal government. Speak out, speak up, be respectful. Attack the ideas and the nonsense that's being proliferated to our kids, to our communities. Thanks for supporting this channel. I'm Michael Goff. This is Chronicles of Clarity, where we are here to clarify for you. Don't forget to get out and vote. We'll see you next time.